My friends, I can't tell you how glad I am that you've joined me again. Lots of love to you guys from Gunnar Nelson, your pal, here in Nashville, Tennessee, during these crazy times that we find ourselves in. My goal in life is to give you just a little emotional cup of coffee every single day, give you some positivity because I do believe in you, and life is a groove, and maybe even teach you something. All right, now today we're going to continue with our theme. All right, we've been talking about the physical body and the little things that you can do to improve your physicality, which in kind is going to improve your emotional state, make you a happier person. All right, so continuing on with that theme, going on with the role. Yesterday we talked about alkalizing. Today we're going to talk about the concept of eating right for your type, for your blood type. Okay, there's a gentleman that I've read up on. He's great. He's got 2 different books out there that I have read and I've made a part of my life. And the gentleman's named Peter D'Adamo. And if you so choose, I want you to look him up. He's got, his first book is called Eat Right for Your Type. And what this man did, he's a researcher, and he found that in his opinion, one's blood type determines their health. Now let me explain. Now there are 4 or 5 different blood types. I'm going to go through it. I'm such a blonde right now. But that everybody has a specific blood type, obviously. Now in this country, in the United States, we tend to not make that a big deal in our life. Matthew and I actually are professional race car drivers, so as part of that, we actually had to get type tested and find out what our blood type was. It's actually stitched on our racing suits for obvious reasons. And Matthew and I are both type O negative. But everybody is different. But what Dr. D'Adamo found is that everybody's blood type is different for a reason and came from a different place. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can, but again, after this, I am going to challenge you to learn something today. Go out there and research Dr. D'Adamo's work and eating right for your blood type, and you can find plenty of stuff online on YouTube that's going to give you a condensed version of this. But as I mentioned, I'm an O. An O blood type comes from the original blood type. That's why it's called O. It came from when mankind was young and new on this particular planet, and basically what we couldn't hunt down and kill or pluck from a tree, we didn't eat. So our systems are designed to break down our nutrition, a type O blood, that comes from that sort of a diet, a hunter-gatherer, okay? So things like red meat, especially certain kinds, salmon, very beneficial to an O blood type. Things that you can pluck from a tree, almonds, fruits like that, very beneficial. Okay, now the next blood type in our evolution to come up was the A blood type. Now the A blood type stands for agriculture. That's when we actually went from being hunter-gatherers, we moved into collectives, we moved into towns and villages, and we started living together, and we started to farm. And we started to cultivate our food. So a person who is an A blood type, Dr. D'Adamo found, is better suited to be a vegetarian. That's why some people really respond very well to a vegetarian diet, and some people really don't. I am not one because as an O blood type, I really do need certain kinds of proteins in my diet to actually feel super healthy. But there are a lot of A's out there that would be really actually very good vegetarians because they wouldn't naturally have the cravings. Believe it or not, your blood type, he found, also determines a lot of your natural cravings. If you wonder why there's certain foods that you absolutely crave, it's your body telling you what you need at a cellular level to be healthy, to be fulfilled. So that's A. Now the next one was type B. And type B was when too many people started living together in cities and collectives and started getting really sick. Sanitation wasn't great in the early days. I mean, think about early London, okay? So a lot of those people left that kind of closed-in living, and they started being more nomadic. They moved to the outskirts. They started tending goats and sheep and such. So a B blood type, you'll find on the list things like goat cheese and dairy products and all that kind of stuff. They actually absorb far better than any of the other blood types. It's this fascinating stuff. Now the newest blood type is type AB, and that only came to prevalence about 60, 70 years ago. And that kind of has a smattering of all the different blood types in it because as we evolve, you've got all these different kinds of blood types coming together and making babies and doing all that. And we evolve and we learn how to deal with the different diets in our environments. This is fascinating stuff. So if you're one of those people who is curious and wants to know more about you because you are a one of a kind, you might want to think about doing that kind of research about eating right for your type. And perhaps even sending away for a type testing kit. It's very cheap. It's like $10. They send it to your house. You know, you do a little finger stick and you send it back to them, and they tell you what blood type you are. If you want to have babies in the future, it's always a good idea to know anyways. So, on that note, we're learning stuff every single day, okay? Yesterday we talked about alkalizing. Today we talked about eating right for your type. We talked about giving up sodas. We talked about moving your ass when you actually want to improve your mood. There's so many things that we're going to be talking about, and I hope you're learning as we go, all right? I'm not going to bore you continuing with this thing. I'm going to change things up from time to time, but today, that's where we went. So lots of love to you guys. God bless you, and I'm proud of you for pushing yourself and making yourself improve just a little bit every single day. On that note, we'll talk to you tomorrow.